In this video, I'm going to talk about emotion, and in particular, how can we get better at fully feeling and validating our emotions, both ours and the person that we're communicating and connecting with, without needing to believe in any of the stories or narratives we're telling about the emotion. This is a really important distinction that we need to make if we're going to effectively navigate emotion, especially when emotion gets big and uncomfortable. A lot of times people talk about needing to validate the other person's emotion. And I think that's relevant, it's important. It's really important that we feel felt by others. This comes back to our early childhood, when we're very little, and especially when we're pre-verbal or when we're not yet able to effectively articulate all of the things that are going on for us. We articulate by naturally expressing our feelings and emotions. And when a parent or a caregiver is there and they're responsive to what we say and do, we get a sense that they're feeling us, that because I'm upset, there's a response from them. So if I'm upset, even as an adult, and I don't get a sense that the person that I'm with is hearing and seeing and feeling my emotions, I don't feel connected, I don't feel held, and I often won't trust the other person. So this is why validating emotion is so important. Now, the slippery slope of that is that we can have emotion and believe all sorts of things about that emotion. Just because I'm upset doesn't mean my thoughts and feelings and narratives about what's going on are accurate. So this is where we want to make the distinction between the fact that it's always true to have the emotions you're having. There's nothing bad or wrong about any of the things we might feel. Just because it's true and okay that we're feeling what we're feeling doesn't mean that the way we interpret those feelings is accurate. This is where getting good at distinguishing the difference is so powerful for our relationships. What that allows me to do is when someone is bringing big emotion, I don't have to downplay it, I don't have to minimize it, I don't have to diminish it, I don't have to pretend that it's not there. I can fully honor and support someone in having the emotion they're having. And I don't need to agree with them about the interpretation of that emotion. Now, there are definitely things to get good at in terms of navigating a conversation, to navigate conflict where there's big emotion and we don't agree about the interpretation of that emotion. But what will happen as you get better at validating and honoring the reality of emotion, that it's there, is that you'll notice that people don't need you to agree with them so much as they need to feel felt by you. So this realization that we can fully honor and be compassionate about what other people are feeling without needing to agree with them on how to interpret those feelings or how to interpret what has occurred allows us to stay connected. It allows us to stay in the same kind of relational field. It allows us to be curious and discover the needs and the wants that are at play. And it allows us to be curious enough so that wherever we don't see eye to eye on how to interpret what occurred and to interpret the feelings that are at play, both in us and them, now there's room for the resolution of conflict. Now there's room to see and hear and feel each other and to find common ground in the places where we don't necessarily see things the same way. This simple shift in how we hold and relate to emotion, giving permission and validating the truth that the emotion is there, the relevance and value in everyone being able to and invited to feel fully what they're feeling. And then in that space of inclusion, we get to discover what it means for us to create shared meaning around the feelings that are at play. So that your feelings and my feelings are welcome, they're honored, they're seen and felt on both sides. And then there's a sincere good faith conversation and interaction around how do we make sense of these feelings? How do we bring these feelings back into a sense of coherence and harmony? With this distinction and a willingness to navigate the conversations where we don't see eye to eye, enables us to start to create more trust, more security, and more connection in our most cherished relationships. I hope that makes sense, and I hope this video is helpful for you. I look forward to sharing more.